a new video, and again we are looking at how offshore EMIs are beating traditional banks in global payments, and you will learn, as we dive deep into these offshore EMIs, license regulated, not banking infrastructure as such, but money institutions, electronic money institutions, from Lithuania to Mauritius, again, outpacing these global banks. And that's how you're going to learn, and you're going to learn a lot about banking in this video, okay guys? So moving into what is an EMI, okay, it's not a bank. It cannot hold the cash deposits. It cannot issue e-money, provide accounts, IBANs are regulated like banks, but lower entry barriers, okay? Jurisdictions are very common is Lithuania, UK, Mauritius, and Georgia. Now, again, you've also seen the other video before on the EMIs, which we can potentially broker you in a deal. But yeah, and obviously, if not, please contact 4 Point Solutions below. Like and subscribe this video as well. So what's interesting is EMIs are regulated by financial authorities, just like banks, okay, guys? But the entry barriers are lower, and they focus on niche clients, fintech startups, crypto projects, offshore entities, high net worth individuals, right? Lithuania EU is the fastest SEPA integrations at very low cost, while UK with the FCA license is still very strong post-Brexit, though it's a little bit more risk averse now. Mauritius, Seychelles, and Georgia, friendly for global operators, especially in crypto, but they all integrate with Swift, card networks, even crypto, fiat rails, without being a traditional bank, right? But what's wrong with traditional banks? Our traditional banks are losing that is because of slow onboarding, over-compliance, and de-risking. Reject crypto and offshore structures is also a very common thing, In contrast to the EMI, you're looking at onboarding remote clients, accepting offshore structures, leverage digital KYC, offer API first, fintech-friendly infrastructure, as obviously traditional banks, again, don't like offshore setups, reject crypto-connected revenue, and require in-person presence and substantial deposits. Now, in regards to, opening one, obviously, it's much easier to do so with an EMI as well. We do help you do that. We have the best EMIs all over the world with Luxembourg, local IBANs, Seychelles, Nevis, Dominican, British, lots of banks in London, while EMIs in London, and obviously over in Lithuania, EU, we have a lot of connections too. I can introduce you to one of those solutions at any time. So as we move into the offshore EMI plus holding structure, a lot of people in our base, we are in a lot of conversations, especially based over in Geneva, in Zurich, and in London, with setting up EMIs for clients. We do broker in a lot of deals for them as well. So, for example, we can look at a fintech operator based in Thailand who uses a Nevis LLC to sell services to EU and US clients, right? So instead of opening a traditional bank account, which is near impossible, they might use a Mauritius or Lithuanian EMI that accepts clean offshore structures. Once KYC and source of funds are very clear, the account is usually open within 2 to 4 weeks, right? In terms of the account opening on the EMI side. Now, this is very key. You have SEPA, Swift access, crypto friendliness. You're laid with an EU company for optics and compliance. Nevis invoices, EMI receives funds. Very simple shit, guys. So moving on to what actually comes into play, I call this a fourth section, and that is modern EMIs, what they offer. That is virtual physical debit cards, FX services at competitive rates, and crypto fiat APIs for integrated conversation. They connect with crypto custody providers, e.g. Fireblocks, Genos Pay as well, very common. We see them two players in the crypto blockchain infrastructure a lot with our clients, and they offer KYT overlays for large transactions as well. Again, they're going to be, kind of provide with the agility of a startup with enough regulation to meet compliance standards, just enough so you've got the flexibility, but obviously you're still being compliant. Obviously, when we look at the risks, EMIs are not without the risk. We've got funds can be frozen due to AML flags, no deposit insurance like traditional banks, reliant on corresponding banking partners. Typically, they can be tier one. The banks which we work with are tier one banking partners. However, again, they always verify the regulator licensing, in terms of financial health, legal agreements, and AML policies. We are also always on top of those partners. Obviously, we only deal with the best partners and the biggest partners in the entire world. So if you did want to get one of our partners and open up an offshore account today for an EMI, you can do. Even a traditional bank, we can look at setting up with a meeting. We work with banks such as UBS, MSB in Monaco, K-Bank International over in Belize. Now, regarding our EMIs, we're looking at doing a white label ourselves currently. It was one of our own projects. And again, we're in a lot of circles. I've got a lot of close friends of MSBs in Canada, EMIs in London. I used to work for 2 EMIs in London myself as well, actually. So that's a little bit more of a history about myself. So again, EMIs are replacing traditional banks for offshore fintech, legal, compliant and flexible. Perfect for crypto exposed or nomadic operators, and used with strategy and compliance and discipline. And that is it. I'm going to see you in my next video, guys. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed the video and have a little bit of a better understanding of what's the difference between an EMI and a traditional bank.